This is the Katy Freeway, the section of Interstate 10 between Houston and Katy, Texas. In 2008, it went through a widening project, becoming one of the widest highways on Earth, with up to 26 lanes at its widest point. However, the enormous scale of the Katy Freeway didn't fix the traffic problem it was intended to fix. Instead, it might have made the traffic worse. But why? More lanes could hold more cars and should solve the traffic problem, right? Well, this was what I thought until I learned about induced demand. Induced demand is a phenomenon in which when you add more lanes to a road, traffic might get better in the short term, but when more people are aware of the increased road capacity, the traffic volume will increase and the road will become congested again in the long run. The Katy Freeway is a great example of induced demand. According to a study by City Observatory, between 2011 and 2014, the morning commute on Katy Freeway increased by 25 minutes and the afternoon commute increased by 23 minutes. The morning and evening commutes increased by 30% and 45% respectively. Besides the Katy Freeway, many other cities in North America and globally have proven that induced demand is true. The phenomenon of induced demand also works counterly. Doing the opposite by removing capacity from car infrastructure could potentially improve traffic. One famous example is the Cheonggyecheon Freeway in Seoul, South Korea, a major downtown freeway that was replaced by a river and a recreation space. Instead of causing a traffic nightmare, the traffic condition even improved in some sections. Of course, Seoul has a world-class public transportation system, so those who drive have a viable alternative to switch to. But Seoul's success does prove that when you remove road capacity, it could potentially make traffic better. Seoul is not the only city that removed highways. Other examples of highway removal projects include the Sheridan Expressway in the Bronx, New York, the Harbor Drive in Portland, Oregon, the Inner Loop in Rochester, New York, etc. So, if induced demand applies to roadways, could it have the same effect on other transportation modes, such as biking and public transit? The answer is yes. In New York City, 59.8 miles of new protected bike lanes has been installed since 2022. Accordingly, there were 2,660,550 city bike customer trips in March 2024, a 30.6% increase since March 2022. The same pattern could be applied to public transit. When you improve and expand your public transit system, more people will get out of their cars and ride it. One big difference from the induced demand observed on car infrastructure is that the induced demand for bike lanes and public transit could have a more positive impact. These modes of transportation are more sustainable and have a higher capacity while taking up less space. While they will be inducing more people to bike or ride public transit, it will take longer for it to reach its maximum capacity. The biggest takeaway from induced demand is that we should be more cautious about building car infrastructure since it will nearly be impossible to build our way out of congestion. Instead, we should increase the investment in more green and sustainable ways of travel, bike, pedestrian infrastructures, and public transit. So I hope this video helped you better understand the concept of induced demand and what it teaches us about future transportation planning. If you're interested in urban planning topics, you can check out this playlist. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you over in that playlist.